Hey babe, okay, today's video a little bit different. I'm gonna walk you through a little bit more of a life coaching session, as if you and I were on a call, and we are gonna talk about like who influences your life and how to know that and how to really get some control over who's in your life and how they're influencing you. Because the number one question that I get asked, DM'd about, and comments on my YouTube videos are about friends. And about fights with friends, struggle with friends, good friends, bad friends, all the above. So let's break this down in a little bit of a coaching session with you on how we figure out who has influence in our life. And so to do this activity, this coaching session, I need you to have a piece of paper and a pen, marker, pencil. Great. Okay, so the very first thing that you and I are gonna do today is we are gonna figure out who is like in your inner circle. And an inner circle is something my dad taught me. I talk about it a lot in my videos because it's such an incredibly helpful tool that a lot of people have never even thought to do. So on your piece of paper, I want you to draw 3 circles, and I'll show you what those look like. And mine's kind of small. But so I've got inner circle here, and I've got 1, 2, 3 rings out. And you know what? I might do a 4th because my circle's so tiny. And in the middle is you. So I've got me written right here. Now, what this circle represents is if this is you, your personality, your essence, decisions you make about your life, like this is just like you going throughout little life. Like we'll draw your little beautiful stick figure person. So who do you spend the most time with? That's who goes in this very first circle. So if this was me when I was in high school, I would say that I spend a lot of time with my mom and dad because I live with them. But I also spend a ton of time with John Doe, who I'm dating, so I'll just make up that name up. So the guy I was dating, probably number 1 person I'm spending time with. And then who else would I have been spending a lot of time with? Well, like probably in like this instance of like that would be it. Like maybe my siblings in here. So I put mom, dad, and then like the guy I was dating, John, right? Okay. The next circle out is the friends that I then spend the most amount of time with. And when I was in high school, that definitely would have been my theater group. Because we not only had that class together, those were who were my core friends. And those were who like I spent so much time with because we were doing shows and productions, and like those are who my friends were. So then we would fill that out. So I want you to go through this and put in this name of like, who am I spending a ton of time with? So I'm just putting random names for an example, but like this would be like my theater group and who I'm spending a ton of time with. And then lastly, on this circle, who else do I interact with? Do I see that I love that has like some influence and pull in my life, but I'm not spending a ton of time with them. Maybe I'll eat lunch with them occasionally. Maybe like I'll hang out with them. I always have a great time when I do, but they're not my core group of friends. That's who goes in this next circle. Okay, so we've got our names, who we spend casual time with, we spend a lot of time with, we spend most of our time with right here. Okay, so I want you to look at your circle right now. What do you think about that? Like, is that pretty accurate? Is that, like true to like how you're spending your time? Now I want you to go through that circle, person by person, and decide what influence they're having on your life. So for me, it's hard because as an adult, I would look at this and say, okay, mom and dad, definitely a positive influence in my life. And that's my story. And, I hope that's your story. It might not be. Maybe your dad's like a really negative influence in your life. I have a best friend who doesn't talk to her mom just because it brings her down and it doesn't bring her any joy, and it just, isn't the relationship she wants it to be, right? But like, if I am being honest with myself as an adult now, my boyfriend, this made up name John at the time, was a horrible influence in my life because he was ghosting me. He didn't make me feel good about myself, but I was so infatuated with him. I think I honestly would have put a plus, which I hope that as you and I walk through this, like maybe your heart's kind of telling you like, ooh, I don't think that person deserves a plus. I hope you honor that feeling. So for this example, I'm going to put negative by my boyfriend because truthfully, like he was an awful influence in my life. And then as I walk out the circle, I'm like, oh, like Trudy, amazing. Bree, amazing. Oh, you know, this person over here, like Bob, no. I spend a lot of time with them, but like he teases me. I don't like hanging out with him. I only hang out with him because he's like with the rest of the group. So as you go through, I'm putting like a little negative, plus. And then out here, you know, if I was looking at my high school friends, all these would have been like pluses out here. Okay. So we've gone through that exercise and you might have to pause this video to do that. So looking at your pluses and your negatives now, who is out of balance? Who in this circle needs to move? And if this was me as a teen, I'd have to like face the hard reality and I'd circle this guy, my boyfriend's name, and say he needs to come out here. Because if I'm being honest, he's nice to me 50% of the time, and 50% of the time he acts like I don't exist. So he would need to come out. Same with Bob, and let's pretend this name. You know, they all need to come out. And people like Trudy and Bree and Kate, they should come in. Because anybody that's a good friend to us, who's a good influence, who we hang out with and we like ourselves more, we feel better about ourselves, we do activities that are fun and enlightening and engaging, we should be spending our time with them. And I love to teach teens this exercise because too often we excuse unacceptable behavior from our friends. And we've gotten so good at being friends with frenemies. We've gotten so good at being okay with so-so friends. And there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of those reasons is it's convenient, first and foremost. We already have friendships with these people. We're already hanging out with them because of our team or our play we're putting on, or they're friends with our other friend. And it also doesn't require a lot of work to restart or reboot that friendship because it's already there. And also we just are like not really aware. We're not aware of how people are talking to us or how we are treating, or how they're treating us, and how their behavior affects us. So this is where I really want you to take a step back, because I'm trying to, like, if I had to get into my old teenage self and coach my old self, I know exactly now as an adult and then as a life coach, you know, which of my friends weren't deserving to be called my friends and needed to move out of my circle. But at the time, it would have been really confusing because these people are nice and they like every now and then we have a great time, or they're really funny, or, you know, they're super talented, or every now and then they're so nice to me. But what are they doing the majority of the time? What is the feeling that I get when I walk away from hanging out with these people? And something I teach in my high school guide that I teach in all my coaching sessions with teens is this rule of 50-50. And you've heard me talk about this if you've watched some of my other videos on friendship, but it's good to remind yourself, because in high school, this line gets blurred. But let's be real, as human beings, we all make mistakes. We get in fights with our best friends. We're not always on our best behavior. And sometimes we say the dumbest things. Sometimes we do the dumbest things. Sometimes we put a guy in front of our bestie, right? Sometimes we're not a great girlfriend. That's okay, right? We are allowed room to not be perfect. But if your friendship is getting close to 50-50, 50% of the time, it's awesome, it's amazing, you guys have a great time, you do activities that you support, they support your standards, awesome. But if 50% of the time they tease you, they make fun of you, they question your morals, they make you question yourself, you don't feel great when you leave, you feel like an outsider or the bottom of the totem pole, you feel excluded, or they single you out in some kind of way, whether not including you or making you feel isolated or dumb or stupid, it's time for a change. That whoever that individual is in your circle needs to get the heck out of there. Because I found that for a lot of teens, they're settling for a lot less than 50-50. And I would encourage you that if your relationship's even close to that, half the time we have fun and half the time I feel like a loser, those aren't your friends. Those are your frenemies. Those are people who are so friends, and they have gotten away with treating you as less than a good friend. And guess what? It is my job to remind you that you are worth it and that you have all the abilities and qualities to be loved and to have great friendships and to have amazing best friends and to have healthy relationships and to have a boyfriend. And you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle for friends that make you feel bad, for friends that don't get you, and especially for friends that tease you. And I talk about teasing a ton because teasing can disguise itself. And they're like, oh, do you know we're just messing around? Oh, can't you be more fun? Guess what? You don't have to put up with teasing. And I am a firm believer that teasing is just one step away from torment. So do not feel bad if you're like, well, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be like not a nice person. I don't want to be the bad friend. Girlfriend, when people show you their true colors, believe them. And so I want you to be brutally honest with yourself, especially when it comes to boyfriends, significant others, because if I was being so truthful with myself, I would have caught that. If I was being, oh, I'm being nice and man, he's so sweet to me right now, I would probably miss that. So I hope this exercise really helps you to get some clarity on your friendships and the people that are influencing your life. Because the reality is, and they've shown this in study after study, that you are a accumulation of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you look at this circle and say, okay, my mom, dad, John, and like Shaylee, if I was just like them, if I acted just like they act, and if I had the qualities that they have, and if I treated people the way they treat me, would I be proud of myself? Would I be happy with that outcome? Does that person match the person that I want to be? The person that when I close my eyes and see how amazing I am, do those people line up? Because if not, we have got to reevaluate our circle. Okay, babe, so I hope this little exercise helps you out. No joke, whenever I'm kind of feeling myself like socially out of balance or feeling like I didn't have a great time at an activity or hanging out with friends or anything, I'll draw this circle. I'll make sure that the people who matter the most to me, the people I want to be like and emulate, are in this circle. And then I make sure that I've got it all balanced out. So this isn't just a tool for you in high school or junior high or even college. This is a tool for you to use your whole life. And the better you get at identifying good influences in your life, the better you're going to get at moving those people further in or out of your circles, because it's hard. And sometimes, just like I mentioned with my friend, sometimes these are people that you might feel obligated to have in your circle, like my friend and her mom, right? But her mom has proven to her time and time again, she's not emotionally healthy enough. She's not stable enough to be that awesome influence in her life. And so guess what? She's got to keep her on the outside of the circle for her own mental health and well-being and to feel like a balanced individual. So I hope you use this tool. I hope you can start to go to school, engage your friendships, and just ask yourself, how do I feel after I hang out with this person? Do I want to be more like this person? Because if so, then they should move into your circle a little bit deeper. And if somebody, you're like, hey, don't like when they're there. They always make fun of me. They always tease me. They don't deserve to be called your friend. And I hope that I can give you a little bit of a shoulder shaking, harsh awakening, because too many of us, especially in high school, are just trying to be nice and get along and like have a lot of friends that we don't care about the quality of those friends. I want you to care about that quality. And I want you to know you're deserving of the best quality, especially as you work to be a top-notch friend. So, babe, that's our little coaching session for today. I'm wishing you the best of luck. If you have a question about friends, coaching, products that I offer, comment down below or check out my website, abbywinslow.com. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. So, Abby J out.